Lily Harper stared at her phone, her heart pounding in her chest. Her thumb hovered over the screen, unsure whether to delete the message or simply let it sit there, mocking her. The message she had just sent echoed in her mind, the words blurring as the weight of her mistake settled in. The ultrasound went well today. Doctor says everything looks perfect. Just need to talk about the financial plan before the baby arrives. It had been meant for her best friend, Clara, but in the chaos of her tiny apartment, still unpacking after her recent move, she'd mistakenly tapped on the name directly above Clara's, Gregory Westbrook, CEO of Westbrook Enterprises, the very same Gregory Westbrook who had once been her boss. "Oh no," Lily whispered, her hands shaking as she fumbled to delete the message, but it was too late. The two blue check marks beneath the text confirmed it. The message had been read. Her apartment, small and barely furnished, suddenly felt even more cramped. The walls seemed to close in as the reality of her situation pressed down on her. She was pregnant, out of a job, and living in a place that wasn't quite hers, too small, too temporary. She had barely made it through the month before, and now with a baby on the way, the future seemed uncertain, even impossible. Lily had worked at Westbrook Enterprises for the better part of 2 years. She had been one of the most dedicated assistants, and Gregory had always been supportive, at least professionally. When she'd been let go after the company's restructuring, he delivered the news in a manner that was both professional and kind. He'd even given her a generous severance package, which was more than she could have hoped for. But he hadn't known about her pregnancy. She had discovered it just after she'd been let go, and everything had spiraled from there. The buzz of her phone broke her from her thoughts. A message appeared. "I think you've texted the wrong person. This is Rebecca Westbrook, Gregory's ex-wife. But I'm curious, what financial plan involves my ex-husband?" Lily's stomach dropped. Rebecca Westbrook. The name seemed to echo through her mind. She knew Rebecca. She was the ex-wife of Gregory, the woman who had been married to him before their very public divorce. A philanthropist in her own right, Rebecca was a name that came up in conversations about charity galas, not one Lily ever imagined she would be speaking to on a personal level. Rebecca's words had been calm, almost too calm considering the context. But what had she meant by financial plan? Was there any way to explain this without sounding completely insane? Lily quickly typed a response, trying to compose herself. No, I'm Lily Harper. I worked for Westbrook Enterprises. This message was meant for my best friend, not your ex-husband. I'm so mortifying. I'm so sorry." There was a long pause before the reply came. "I see. Gregory mentioned you before. He always spoke highly of you. I didn't realize you were expecting a baby. That's wonderful news." Lily blinked, surprised at the unexpected recognition. Gregory had spoken about her? She had never expected him to remember her after all this time. He was busy, after all, CEO of a major company. But the words gave her a strange sense of relief, almost like she wasn't as invisible as she'd feared. Still, the situation was far from ideal. The last person she wanted to involve in her personal life right now was Rebecca Westbrook, and yet, here they were. Before Lily could respond, another message appeared. "I'm sorry if I came across as intrusive. Would you mind if we spoke over the phone? I'd like to discuss things directly." Lily's heart raced. What could Rebecca possibly want to discuss? With no other options, she reluctantly typed, "Sure, I'd be happy to talk." 5 minutes later, her phone rang. She hesitated for a moment before answering. "Hello?" she said, her voice shaky despite her attempt to remain calm. "Lily, this is Rebecca Westbrook," came a warm, steady voice on the other end. It sounded professional, confident, almost regal, but there was a kindness in her tone that Lily hadn't expected. "Mrs. Westbrook," Lily stammered, I can't apologize enough for the confusion." Rebecca's laughter was light and understanding. "Please, call me Rebecca. There's no need to apologize. I understand. It happens." She paused for a moment before continuing. "I've been reading your messages, and I'm actually concerned about you, Lily. Gregory spoke highly of you before you left the company. How are you doing?" Lily blinked, taken aback by Rebecca's genuine concern. Of course, Gregory had mentioned her in passing, but she hadn't realized the depth of his regard for her. "I've been better," Lily admitted. "I'm doing okay, just struggling a bit with everything. I'm pregnant, out of a job, and trying to figure out how to make ends meet." Rebecca was quiet for a moment, letting her words sink in. Then she responded, her voice soft but firm. "I'm on the board of a foundation for single parents. We have a program that could really help you, Lily. Would you be open to meeting tomorrow? I can explain everything in person." Lily didn't know how to respond. Was she really about to take help from someone who didn't even know her? It felt surreal. But at the same time, the idea of having a lifeline, someone who might help her navigate through this tough time, was too tempting to ignore. After a few seconds, she finally spoke. "I'd like that. Thank you, Rebecca." The next morning, Lily found herself sitting in a small cafe downtown, a place she never frequented, but where she'd been instructed to meet Rebecca. She wore a simple maternity dress, feeling completely out of place among the polished and well-dressed professionals that surrounded her. But when Rebecca entered, dressed in a tailored navy suit, Lily felt like she might as well have been invisible. Rebecca was everything Lily had imagined, calm, composed, with a presence that seemed to fill the room. She greeted Lily with a warm smile and gestured to the seat across from her. "Thank you for meeting me," she said, her voice soothing and confident. "I ordered a latte for you. Is that all right?" Lily nodded, still trying to process the strange twist her life had taken. "Thank you. I'm just surprised by all of this." Rebecca's smile softened. "I understand. You might not know this, but my own experiences as a single mother have shaped a lot of the work I do. I know how difficult it can be to navigate these things on your own." Lily didn't know what to say. Here was a woman who had lived through something similar and now was reaching out to help her? And yet, the sense of obligation was strong. Was she taking advantage of Rebecca's kindness? Or was this an opportunity to get back on her feet? After a few seconds, she finally spoke. "I'd like that. Thank you, Rebecca." The next morning, Lily found herself sitting in a small cafe downtown, a place she never frequented, but where she'd been instructed to meet Rebecca. She wore a simple maternity dress, feeling completely out of place among the polished and well-dressed professionals that surrounded her. But when Rebecca entered, dressed in a tailored navy suit, Lily felt like she might as well have been invisible. Rebecca was everything Lily had imagined, calm, composed, with a presence that seemed to fill the room. She greeted Lily with a warm smile and gestured to the seat across from her. "Thank you for meeting me," she said, her voice soothing and confident. "I ordered a latte for you. Is that all right?" Lily nodded, still trying to process the strange twist her life had taken. "Thank you. I'm just surprised by all of this." Rebecca's smile softened. "I understand. You might not know this, but my own experiences as a single mother have shaped a lot of the work I do. I know how difficult it can be to navigate these things on your own." Lily didn't know what to say. Here was a woman who had lived through something similar and now was reaching out to help her. And yet, the sense of obligation was strong. Was she taking advantage of Rebecca's kindness? Or was this an opportunity to get back on her feet? Rebecca seemed to sense her hesitation. "Lily, I know it might feel strange, but our foundation helps women like you every day. We provide financial assistance, health care, and most importantly, job placement services. What I'd like to offer you is not just charity, it's an opportunity to stand back on your own feet with support." Lily's heart fluttered. It was tempting, more tempting than anything she'd been offered in a long time. I don't know what to say," Lily admitted. Rebecca smiled. "You don't have to say anything right now. I just want to show you that there's help and there's hope, no matter how overwhelming things may seem. We're here for you." Lily stared at Rebecca, still trying to process everything she had just heard. Rebecca's offer was incredibly generous, but it also felt too good to be true. Lily had always prided herself on being independent, making her way through the world without relying on others. But now, sitting across from someone who seemed so confident, so assured of her own life, Lily felt exposed, vulnerable even. Rebecca's calm voice broke her thoughts. "I'm not suggesting you take everything we offer right away, Lily, But what I want you to understand is that you're not alone. There's a network of women here who are rooting for you, and you deserve to be part of it." Lily's chest tightened, a mixture of relief and uncertainty bubbling up inside her. She had never thought she would be in a position to accept help from someone like Rebecca. But after everything that had happened, losing her job, finding out she was pregnant, dealing with her ex's abandonment, she realized just how desperate she was for a lifeline. I don't even know how to start," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've been on my own for so long. I'm not used to asking for help." Rebecca leaned forward, her eyes softening. "Lily, it's okay. No one has all the answers, and no one expects you to do this alone. Sometimes the hardest part is admitting that you need help, but that's the first step toward healing. And you don't have to go through this alone anymore." Lily felt a wave of emotion rise up in her chest. She swallowed hard, blinking back the tears that threatened to spill over. She had been carrying so much weight alone for so long, and the thought that someone, especially someone like Rebecca, might offer her a way out was both a relief and a fear. After a long moment, Lily finally nodded. "Okay, I'll give it a try. I'll meet with someone from your foundation and see what the next steps are." Rebecca smiled warmly, as though this was the outcome she had hoped for all along. "I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, this isn't just about the program. It's about finding a community of support. I've been where you are, Lily, and I know how overwhelming it can be to face the future when it feels like you're carrying everything on your own." The following week, Lily found herself standing in front of a sleek building downtown, her hands shaking slightly. The Thornbrook Foundation, a nonprofit organization that Rebecca was involved with, had just offered her a chance at stability. They had a program specifically designed for single mothers, and Lily had already met with a few of the staff members who explained the financial assistance, health care, and job placement services available. As she made her way into the building, Lily couldn't shake the sense that she was stepping into a world far outside her own. The polished marble floors, the contemporary artwork hanging on the walls, and the smiling faces of the employees greeted her like something out of a dream. It all seemed so different from the cramped apartment she had been calling home, the place that had never felt like her own. She was escorted into a bright conference room where she met with another staff member from the foundation. They discussed her qualifications, her work experience, and the kind of support she needed. It was clear that the foundation had the resources to help her, but Lily couldn't help but wonder how much of this was driven by Rebecca's personal connection to her. Was she really here for the program, or had Rebecca seen something in her that went beyond just a simple need for assistance? As the meeting ended and Lily was escorted out of the building, she couldn't shake the questions in her mind. She had come here seeking help, but now there was a gnawing curiosity that lingered. Why had Rebecca taken such a personal interest in her? Why did it seem like this wasn't just about charity? That evening, Lily sat in her small apartment, her mind racing with thoughts. The offer from the foundation had been more than generous, but the pieces didn't seem to fit. Rebecca had reached out to her with such sincerity, but there was something in the way she spoke about her own past that left Lily with a sense of unfinished business. Was it possible that Rebecca saw something in her, something that made her want to right a wrong from her past? It wasn't until a few days later that Lily would have a chance to ask Rebecca herself. Lily met Rebecca again, this time at a local cafe, a much quieter place than the bustling coffee shop they had first met in. Rebecca greeted her with her usual warmth, and Lily couldn't help but feel a sense of comfort in her presence. The two women had developed an unexpected camaraderie over the last few weeks. "I'm glad you could make it," Rebecca said, sitting across from Lily with a smile. "How are you feeling about the Foundation's program?" "I'm still processing everything," Lily admitted. "It's a lot to take in, but I think I'm ready to take the next step." Rebecca nodded, her face softening. "I know it can feel overwhelming. When I was in your shoes, I wasn't sure who to turn to either. But sometimes taking the first step is the hardest part." Lily looked at her, studying Rebecca closely. "I have to ask you something. Why are you doing this for me? I don't even know you. And from everything you've told me, it seems like you've been through a lot yourself. Why take such an interest in me?" Rebecca was silent for a moment, her fingers lightly tracing the rim of her coffee cup. When she spoke, her voice was lower, quieter than before. "There's something I haven't told you," Rebecca said, her eyes meeting Lily's. "Something that I've never shared with anyone, and it's not easy for me to talk about, but I think you need to hear it." Lily's heart quickened, the tension in her chest returning. She sat up straighter, sensing that this was a pivotal moment, something that would change everything. "My sister," Rebecca continued, her voice tight with emotion. "She was a single mother, just like you. Her name was Sarah, and she was pregnant with twins when she came to live with me. She had nowhere else to go. And just like you, she was trying to figure out how to navigate her future." Lily's stomach dropped. What happened to her? Rebecca's eyes filled with unshed tears as she looked down at her hands. She lost the babies. And after that, everything fell apart. She blamed herself for what happened, and I blamed myself too. I should have done more. I should have helped her more, but I didn't. And when she took her life, I was left with a weight I could never lift. Lily sat frozen, the words hitting her like a punch. She had thought she knew what loss felt like, but hearing Rebecca's story made her own struggles feel insignificant in comparison. Rebecca's voice was barely a whisper when she continued, "When I saw your message, Lily, I saw Sarah in you. You're pregnant, you're alone, and you're fighting for your future. I couldn't save Sarah, but I can help you. I don't want you to go through the same pain she did." Lily sat in stunned silence, Rebecca's words still echoing in her mind. The weight of the story, the loss, and the guilt that Rebecca carried had hit Lily harder than she expected. She had never imagined that the woman offering her help was carrying such an enormous burden from her past. Everything suddenly clicked into place. The warmth in Rebecca's voice, the personal interest, the feeling that Lily wasn't just another case to her. "I'm so sorry," Lily whispered, her heart aching for Rebecca. "I had no idea." Rebecca's smile was faint, but there was a quiet strength in her eyes. "No one knows, Lily. I've never told anyone about Sarah. Not until now. I think that's why I want to help you so much. I want to make things right, in some small way. I don't want you to go through what she went through." Lily's breath caught in her throat as she processed the depth of Rebecca's words. This wasn't just about charity. It wasn't even just about helping another single mother. This was Rebecca's attempt to heal, to right the wrongs of the past, to help someone who reminded her so much of her own sister. I don't know what to say," Lily admitted, wiping away a tear that had slipped down her cheek. "But thank you. Thank you for trusting me with this." Rebecca reached across the table and placed a hand on Lily's. "I know it's a lot to take in, and I don't expect you to understand everything right away. But know this. This is not about you replacing anyone. You're not Sarah. Your babies are not Sarah's. This is just about you, Lily, about giving you a chance to start fresh." Lily nodded, a lump forming in her throat. She had never thought of herself as someone who could receive help like this, let alone from someone who had experienced such immense loss. But as Rebecca spoke, Lily began to see her own future more clearly, not one defined by the struggle and isolation she had felt, but one with the possibility of support, of healing, and of growth. "I want to do this," Lily said finally, her voice strong with newfound resolve. "I want to accept your help. I don't know what the future holds, but I know I need to make sure my babies have a better start than I had." Rebecca's eyes softened with compassion. "That's all I want, Lily, for you to have the best chance possible, for your babies to grow up knowing that they are loved and supported." Over the next few weeks, things began to change for Lily. The support from the Thornbrook Foundation allowed her to find a stable job with flexible hours, enough to pay for her rent and living expenses while still giving her time to prepare for the birth of her twins. Rebecca had continued to offer guidance, helping Lily navigate the complexities of motherhood, from medical appointments to financial planning. But as Lily settled into her new life, something in her began to shift. She was still haunted by the feeling that there was more to Rebecca's story than what she had told her. Though Rebecca had opened up about her sister, there was a part of her that remained closed off, a part that Lily couldn't quite reach. Lily's curiosity gnawed at her. She had to know more. She had to understand why Rebecca had offered so much of herself to her. She needed to know what kind of peace Rebecca was truly seeking. It wasn't until one afternoon, when Lily and Rebecca were meeting for coffee again, that she would finally get the answers she had been searching for. "Rebecca," Lily began hesitantly, "I've been thinking a lot about everything you've done for me, and I'm so grateful for everything. But I have to ask, why me? Why did you reach out to help me when we barely know each other?" Rebecca didn't immediately respond. Instead, she stirred her coffee slowly, her gaze fixed on the surface of the drink. There was a weight in her silence, something Lily had grown accustomed to in their conversations, but this time the pause felt more like an eternity. Finally, Rebecca set her cup down and looked at Lily, her expression somber. "Lily," Rebecca began, her voice quieter than before, "I've told you about Sarah. But what I didn't tell you is that she didn't just disappear after losing the babies. After that, everything went dark for her. She lost herself in a spiral of guilt and depression. I didn't know how to help her. I didn't even know how to understand what she was going through." Lily's heart twisted with compassion. She knew what it was like to feel like you were falling apart. But hearing Rebecca's pain, hearing how she had felt powerless to help her sister, made Lily realize that Rebecca's grief wasn't just about losing the babies. It was about losing her sister as well. "Sarah was never the same after she lost the babies," Rebecca continued, her voice thick with emotion. "And it destroyed me. I should have done more. I should have been there for her. But by the time I realized how much she was struggling, it was too late. I couldn't save her. And I couldn't save the babies either. But you gave me a chance to do something right." Lily's eyes filled with tears as she listened to Rebecca's story. The depth of her sorrow was palpable, and Lily realized that this wasn't just about saving her. It was about Rebecca trying to save herself, too. "You're not just helping me, Rebecca," Lily said softly, her voice full of understanding. "You're helping yourself. You're healing from what happened to your sister. You're giving me a chance so that maybe, just maybe, you can finally forgive yourself." Rebecca's eyes welled with tears as she looked at Lily. "Maybe, but it's not just forgiveness I'm after. It's redemption. I want to make up for all the time I wasted. I want to give you and your babies the chance I couldn't give Sarah." Lily reached out and took Rebecca's hand. "You don't need to redeem yourself, Rebecca. I know you've been carrying this burden for a long time, but you've done more than enough. What you've given me is a chance to build a future for my children, and that's more than I could have ever asked for." Rebecca smiled faintly, the weight on her shoulders seeming to ease, if only for a moment. "Thank you, Lily. I think I'm starting to understand that helping you is helping me heal." Months passed, and Lily's life continued to improve. She gave birth to healthy twins, a boy and a girl, whom she named Jack and Emma. With the continued support of the Thornbrook Foundation, she was able to provide for them while continuing to work, adjusting to her new role as both a mother and a woman reclaiming her life. Rebecca visited Lily often, her visits always bringing with them the same warmth and encouragement. She had found a way to be part of Lily's life without overwhelming her, offering the kind of gentle support that had been missing from Lily's life for so long. One day, as Lily watched Rebecca hold little Emma in her arms, her heart swelled with gratitude. She had come a long way since that first accidental text. What had started as a mistake, a wrong number, had turned into something far greater, an unexpected connection, a lifeline, and a healing journey for both women. As Rebecca handed Lily's daughter back to her, she whispered softly, "You're doing great, Lily. I'm proud of you." Lily smiled, her heart full of emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you." Rebecca's gaze softened as she watched Lily with her children. "Sometimes, life gives us second chances in the most unexpected ways. I'm glad we found each other." And with that, the two women, both scarred by the past, but now finding peace in the present, shared a quiet moment of understanding. They had both healed in ways they never could have anticipated, and they knew that the road ahead, though uncertain, was one they would walk together.